My name is Charlene Boyd, and I'm at Mount St. Vincent, and I'm here with Robert Hellrigel.
I'm Robert Hellrigel. I'm at Mount St. Vincent, and I'm here with my friend and colleague, Charlene Boyd.
So I got to know Robert because when I came to Providence, which was in 1979, I was doing consulting work as an occupational therapist. A former instructor would come and ask me if I'd help her on the weekends and do OT. So I would come on the weekends, and I would just be so thrilled because I got $25 a treatment and $35 an evaluation. I will never forget that. I felt like I was so rich. There was lots of heavy regulatory issues going on. So they hired me to do a lot of non-nursing departments. And from there, I would say I developed lots and lots of admiration for what I was going to be doing. And so I got to work with all kinds of people and got to be part of a transformational change for this building. But then came Chuck Hawley. And Chuck Hawley was the person who established the long-term care division for home and community care. He brought in housing, he brought in infusion and pharmacy, he brought in skilled nursing, he brought in low-income housing.
PACE program.
PACE program,
Wrote
huge.
the regulations for assisted living in
He
Washington
was just like
State.
this encyclopedia. And he was also the director of the Washington Healthcare Association as well. And so he became a person of Providence.
You did a couple of things. You took some big leaps, and I want to just kind of fill in a little of that.
Sure.
You were consulting here. And then how long from consulting before Bob Ogden said, I want this person on my team, and offered you a job and said, you need to come work here?
Probably about a year. They just kept piling stuff on, just like anybody else. And Bob had this vision. He had the ear of the system office at that time to be able to put capital investment in this building. There were so many things that changed during that time. If you look through the archives, you'd see the double-loaded corridors. You would see not a lot of home-like environment for residents at all. And in assisted living, never putting the person before the task. He really taught me how much form follows the function. And so we took from 252 beds down to less than 200 and took double-loaded corridors and took out common space and put more space for people living together in a large kind of group home setting. In assisted living, and just put an all-inclusive rate. Then added the PACE satellite program, and then brought in the child care program.
What was that first job he offered you?
Assistant
You
administrator.
came right in as assistant. And you hadn't been licensed as an administrator
No,
yet.
not then.
He saw that potential in you and said,
I guess so.
You know, you went from working as an occupational therapist and coming in as a consultant to then moving right into an assistant administrator. So you became assistant administrator. Then you pursued your license, which is not an easy task.
I pursued my license and then started the foundation in 1982.
And so
While
how
I
long
was
did you
doing
work
that.
with Bob before you became the administrator?
3 or 4 years.
Not a long time.
Not a long time.
And then he left, and did Chuck say, Charlene, I want you to be the administrator?
In fact, I don't think that back then there was an interview.
It wasn't-
As where you would have a long one in Providence today. But I think at that time I just inherited the job.
Somebody knew what they were doing.
Yes, I think Sister Chauncey Boyle lives at St. Joseph Residence right now, and I revere her. But you know, she takes a lot of pride as she walks down the hall to say hello to me because she takes the credit of me being here, and she always says to me, "If there's anything I can do for you, Charlene," because she knows I'm leaving here in about August.
I don't know if it's the training and the education that people receive when they become an occupational therapist, or if it's who they are uniquely as individuals that draws them to occupational therapy. But I have to say, I mean, some of my favorite people that I've had the opportunity to work with throughout my career, and some of the most successful leaders, have had that commonality of being occupational therapists. It's amazing. I could go down a list of names of people that have been occupational therapists and just what great leaders they turned out to be.
Well, I want to go back a little bit to Chuck. You know, he taught me that senior living communities, they can be different and they can be person-directed. And it's hard to do that in a very regulated environment, but we're always striving for that. It's a purpose and meaning in life. Just because people can't be at home, I don't like the word home-like, but have normalcy, pets, animals, plants, people, spirit, responding
And be
to
self-directed.
be self-directed. The community is the antidote to institutionalization, you know. That's what we always strive for, and lots of things get in the way, but that's kind of the guiding principles of my work and your work. So despite all the difficulties, financial challenges, all of those kinds of things that go on all the time with this.
I think in that sense of community, too, I think that was a common bond that you and I had.
Thank you, Robert.
It's been a wonderful experience. I can't tell you how much I've learned from you over the years.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
It's been just a great experience.
Yeah.